Hello and welcome everyone to pre-enrollment or information session on AI and cybersecurity from MIT xPRO. My name is Rudolf or Rudy Falat. I'll be your moderator today, and we're going to dive right in. So once again, you're in the right place if you want to know more about AI and cybersecurity online course from MIT xPRO. But before we go any further, we'd like to know more about you. If you can put in the chat where you're connecting from, that would be great. So I'm looking forward to see the first one. Where are you connecting from? Okay. So we got Chelsea from Boston, so welcome. All right, so that's nearby. We've got Sid from Boston as well. So great stuff. Boston in the house. Anybody outside of Boston or Massachusetts? Let's see. I know there is many of you there, so we'd like to make this session as interactive as possible. We don't want to talk at you, we want to talk with you. So if you can help us a little bit, that would be great. So where are you connecting from? If you, take one more name and we get going. So anybody from outside Boston? All right, we got New Jersey in the house. We got Austin, I think Austin, Texas. Okay, great stuff. So anytime you will have questions, please use that Q&A button as well. Everybody knows this by now, right? So Rob from the Netherlands also, okay, in the chat. But otherwise, if you have questions, please put them into the Q&A or use the Q&A button. So here are today's speakers. You will hear a lot from them. So Kerry Person is a senior lecturer and principal research scientist at MIT's Sloan School of Management. And then also I have with me Etai Moore, who is a founding member of Cato Networks. He's a chief security strategist as well. So maybe just say hello for now, Kerry and Etai.
Hello, nice to see you guys. Look forward to telling you more about our program and hope to see you in the next version of our program.
Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Great stuff. And my name is, as I said, Rudolf Rudy Falat. I'll be your moderator today. I work with Emeritus, who partnered with MIT xPRO to deliver this program to you. All right. So here's what we're going to cover. We're going to give you a little bit of an overview, very brief one of MIT xPRO, because most likely you know it if you came to this session. But Kerry and Etai will also give you a little bit of a bio or a background on them and their research focus. And then we'll talk about the program, right? We'll talk about who is this for, what are the key takeaways. Kerry and Etai will give you a bit of a flavor of curriculum as well. We'll talk about some case studies that are part of the program as well, and frameworks and tools that you can use. And then also what are the tangible, as much as possible. These are going to be online, of course, outcomes of your work, which is going to be the certificate that you can show to your potential employers or on social media. And you will get that credibility from MIT xPRO completion certificate. And we will also talk about practical next steps. If you would like to take this course, what you should do next. So once again, if you have any questions, you can put them in the Q&A. We'll have plenty of time for Q&A at the end, but we can also answer questions as we move along. So you can see here in front of me, I'm not going to repeat it too much because MIT is ranked as #1 in Forbes list of America's top colleges. That's pretty clear. It's been at the top for many, many years. It's dedicated to rigorous academic research. It's dedicated to innovation and, of course, technology, but also we're going to focus on business applications here. And MIT xPRO is MIT's online learning platform. So this is where you get your knowledge from when it comes to cybersecurity and AI. So Kerry, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Sure. Thanks, Rudy. Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Kerry Perlson. I've been at MIT about 9 years. Ironically, I joined MIT from working in the analytics space. And at the time, I really didn't know very much about cybersecurity. I know a lot about IT and IT leadership. And I found the research that we were doing here in AI and cybersecurity to be really compelling and interesting. And I moved more and more into the area of looking at behavioral cybersecurity and how that is changing the way that we reduce risks and reduce vulnerabilities in our organization. I've written extensively around the role that leaders play in driving a cybersecurity culture and in how small and medium enterprises and our supply chains can be made more secure. I really focus on an area that I call cyber resilience. How do we build our organizations so that even if we have some sort of incident, we can recover and keep our operations going? The last few months, year, I guess, maybe a couple years, I've been looking at AI, and I'm really excited to bring some of the melding together of the concepts of cybersecurity into the world of AI safety and security. That's my research agenda for now and for the next few years. And in this course, I'm able to bring in many of the stories and the research sites and the findings that I've had over the years as I myself have gone on this journey to understand how to think about building secure environments and organizations with AI and to make sure they're cyber secure. So I look forward to running this program with you in a few weeks, and I hope you'll join us.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carrie. And Itai.
Hi, thank you very much, Rudy. Hi, everyone. My name is Itai Maor. I'm the Chief Security Strategist at Cato Networks, also the founding member of Cato Control. Control stands for Cyber Threats Research Lab. I've been a cybersecurity researcher, well, officially for 25 years. If we want to go practically, since I was a kid, I was breaking things and hacking into different devices. And my main focus in the last 2.5 years has been almost exclusively on AI. So basically, my team and I sit every day and just try to break different AI systems pretty successfully. And what we'll be doing, what I'll be bringing into this session are years of malware reverse engineering, underground intelligence work, analysis of phishing and ransomware, but then bringing it all into the AI domain and seeing how AI has really super enabled threat actors to become quicker, better, and more efficient. Of course, it did the same thing for us in the defenders space. But my approach is you can't really defend unless you know how to attack. So I'll be bringing a lot of the attacking into the sessions.
Wonderful. So you will hear from Carrie and Etta in a moment. They'll talk a little bit more about curriculum. From me, I just wanted to mention a couple of stats. Why are we here, right? You see it in front of you. 69% of enterprises believe AI is necessary for cybersecurity. Why is that? Because the bad actors, they're using automation and AI themselves to attack you. So it's natural that if you are in this field, that you should think about how you can use AI to protect yourself. That is even more clear to cybersecurity professionals, so not just the general management population. So 93% of cybersecurity professionals expect AI-enabled threats to impact their organization. So they're fully aware this is something that should be on the top of everybody's mind if you are in charge of cybersecurity. And we can also see that there are already millions of people who either expect this or they would like to use it or they know something about this. So the point of this program is to get you up to speed and be at the top of your field when it comes to using AI in cybersecurity. And we believe it's a great potential for you career-wise as well. But before we go into details, we start with a bit of a summary. What will we talk about in this course? We will talk about how to integrate AI into cybersecurity strategy. We will also talk about managing several AI's ethical and governance challenges, especially when we deal with shadow AI systems abuse. We will talk about defense and offense in cybersecurity. So not only to protect yourself, but also to set yourself up ahead of the game so that you protect your business and your valuable business assets. And you will get skills that are needed to design strong defenses against AI-enabled or AI-powered threats and cybercrime. So it's about integrating AI into cybersecurity strategy, managing challenges related to AI, and then working on defense and offense when it comes to cybersecurity and AI, and having hard skills so you can achieve all of this. So who do we think that this program is best suited for? Well, of course, if you are a CTO or a CISO or a senior IT leader, then we believe this is a great program for you. Obviously, if you are in cybersecurity, risk and compliance as well, but also if you are involved in this more broadly, if you are in charge of digital transformation or innovation initiatives or innovation programs in your company, then we believe as well that this is a great program for you. And of course, if you are a technical lead in AI, data, or infrastructure as well. So once again, if you are a CTO or CISO, or if you are in cybersecurity, if you are in digital transformation, or if you are a technical lead in any of these fields that we mentioned. So let's hear about cybersecurity. So let's hear about, curriculum. We will talk about AI and cybersecurity, strategies for resilience and defense in more detail. So Carrie, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Rudy. I'm delighted to share some of the content that we cover here. Let me just add to your last point here. If you're managing cybersecurity and you want to understand how AI is changing things, or if you're in a position where you are trying to articulate what the new vulnerabilities might be for your organization, that's really who this program is perfect for. We're going to talk in a number of different topics. Actually, the first time we ran this program, we had so many topics, we kept running out of time to cover everything. So the way we've designed this program is to have 4 modules, and each module has 2, we're calling them parts, 2 sections, A and B. And Atai and I attend the whole time, but we have split up the material. I come at this from more of the managerial, leadership, organizational side, and Atai comes at it, as he explained, more from the technical, here's the vulnerabilities, let me show you what's going on side. So we really complement each other. And in this first module, which we call AI, Cybersecurity, Vulnerabilities, and Cybercrime, we spend the first part of the hour and a half, 90 minutes, talking about, we spend about 30 minutes on part A, which is an introduction to AI and cybersecurity to kind of level set. So we're going to talk about how AI impacts cybersecurity, and I really see that in 3 ways. You know, AI can create new vulnerabilities. People do things with AI that they don't really realize create a vulnerability for themselves or their organization. Cybersecurity has new ways to find vulnerabilities using AI, because AI is wonderful at finding anomalies. So we use AI to enhance our cybersecurity. But as Rudy said, also, the bad guys also have AI. So we have new opportunities like deep fakes and things that Atai will share with you that really make cybersecurity almost a different animal these days because of the new kinds of vulnerabilities and threats we see. So when we talk about the introduction section, we will talk a little bit about what the technologies are that are under AI, like machine learning and natural language processing. We're not going to go into lots of details. You don't have to have a master's degree in AI to be able to understand where we're going here. But we will kind of level set about what it is we're talking about. Are we talking about Gen AI? We're talking about agents, the agentic AI. We're talking about computer vision. We're talking about all of these different kinds of technologies that kind of come under the AI umbrella. Then we'll look at some strategic challenges, things like aligning our business needs with our vision for how we're going to use AI and why we're seeing so much use of AI. Many companies are rushing into using AI because of competitive pressures. Their customers are using it, or because they think that they will fall behind if they don't use it. In fact, I noticed at the last conference I was at, there's not a single vendor in the audience, in the marketplace, that didn't mention AI on their marketing materials. If you don't have AI, then you must be out of date. Well, of course, that's not really true, but there's a lot of pressure and a lot of strategic challenges with trying to bring AI into the organization at the speed and the efficiency and the effectiveness that we're trying to see. We'll talk a little bit about the changing landscape, what's changed in here, the social engineering at scale, things like advanced automation of attacks and the ability for attacks on AI systems themselves. And then we'll talk about the cyber crime, the AI-driven risks and cyber crime. And then I turn the floor over to Atai. So let me do that here and let him tell you a little bit about the vulnerabilities and cybercrime section.
Right. So the second part of the introductory model is on my side level setting as well, because as much as I want to jump right into the examples of different ways that AI is used by threat actors and how to attack AI systems, we need to understand kind of the background. So we'll go into several examples of attacks and attacks methodologies used by threat actors, things that you probably heard of, phishing, malware, ransomware, but we'll go a little bit deeper and we'll see how these attacks actually happen. It's more than just, oh, a phishing attack happened. What happened in the background? How did the attacker set up the attack in order for it to be successful, persistent, and also secure on their side? So we'll look into how cyber criminals think about these different attacks, because it's not just about stealing data or creating havoc, or randomizing files, encrypting files, and asking for money. There's a lot of different actions that go into play in terms of how do I secure myself as an attacker? How do I secure my software? And the reason we're doing this is because in the next models, as you'll see, when AI comes into the picture, everything kind of takes a step up in terms of how fast, how, I have to give them credit, how elegant they do it, and how efficient it all is. So we're gonna dive here into the basics of, if I had to rename it, I would call it of thinking like a cyber criminal. So let's get into the criminal's head and then move to AI. Okay.
Yeah, so I think the first part here was your session too.
Yes. So second session, first part is mine, and here's where we're going to look into several aspects of AI. When I talk about AI, I talk about 4, maybe 5 actually different elements. I talk about how attackers use AI, how defenders use AI, how to attack AI systems, shadow AI, and agentic AI. And here's where we're going to do the first two, how attackers and defenders use AI. By the way, I really like that statistic that was shared before, that 93% of cybersecurity professionals expect AI-enabled threats to impact their organization. 93%. That means that 7% haven't been paying attention to the news, because I can tell you it's 100%. And I'm 100% sure about it as well. And here we're going to take a look. Now we're going to move from, okay, here's how things were historically, here where things are now. And to do that, we're not just only going to see examples that I created, but we'll also dive into the dark web. I'm going to show you what cyber criminals and threat actors are talking about in those darker corners of the internet, what they're planning, what they're putting together, what are their successes and failures. One of the things, unfortunately, we learn when monitoring the dark web is criminals are not shy about sharing information. It's a community. They share this information. And also we'll take a look at how defenders can use AI. What are the different machine learning models that are out there? How can they be applied to defenders? I have to emphasize, you don't have to be an AI expert. You don't have to be a technical expert to understand this. We're going to do this in human format, in human language. And we have a lot of very recent examples. Just for example, I literally just landed from a 2-day conference about offensive AI with government officials and researchers from all the biggest names you can think of. And we discussed how AI can be used for offense in order to defend. So we're going to be bringing all that into this session.
And then I'll come in with part B on module 2, where we'll talk about governance. What is a good definition of AI governance? What does that look like? For most organizations, governance is about the processes and the practices of assigning the organizational decision-making, the accountability, the processes that drive the way AI will be used in the organization. So we'll look at what does governance mean and what are the components of a good governance model. We'll look at a few approaches for governance. There are 4 different ways that organizations can build governance in. And then we'll look at some leading AI governance frameworks, such as the things like the OECD AI principles, the NIST model that has recently come out on AI risk management. We'll look at some regulatory models, things that are driving the AI governance in Europe. We'll look at the ISO models for AI risks, and then we'll discuss briefly the World Economic Forum's approach to AI governance. And then we'll talk about what are the components of a good governance model for your organization. And you'll leave this module with an understanding of what is it that should be in place. If you're in a position to put governance in place, this will be the module that will help you put that outline together. And if you're in a position of just existing under some sort of AI governance, then you'll understand why the rules are and why the rules that have been put in place have been put in place. What are the policies? What's the role of the executive? What are the controls that we need for risk and for use and for impact? How do we design and develop and deploy our systems? And how do we monitor? And what are the management processes we put in place? And then we'll talk about very briefly a risk taxonomy that some of our colleagues at MIT have developed. It's called the MIT AI risk taxonomy, and it really is categories of risk. Ty just returned from his conference on offensive. Yesterday, I was at a conference put on by the Fed and MIT on risk management, cyber and AI risk management, and what is that looking like today? So I'll be bringing in some of the new concepts of thinking about risk management that AI drives. That's a little bit different than the risk management we see in before we had AI in the world, if you will, and that really is driven also by the kinds of risks that AI presents to us that we haven't seen before. So there's a risk taxonomy at MIT that I'll be bringing in to talk about some examples as a case study of looking at different risks, and then we'll discuss how companies are managing those risks with and even building secure AI systems with a secure by design methodology that I've written about in some articles that I've published. So the governance is going to be really about governance of AI and cyber risk management, or AI cyber risk management, molded into one part of one module. Next slide, please. I think, Ty, these are your modules.
Yes. So this session, both parts are going to be me, and I can't wait to get to it. I love all my modules, but this is the one that I'm really happy to do because this is what I do on a daily basis. I break stuff. So this is where I get to share that with you. So I mentioned before that we talk about defenders and attackers, but I also mentioned how to attack AI systems. And this session is where we're going to deep dive into that. First, we're going to take a look, really following up on Carrie's previous model. We're going to look at some of the foundations and some of the frameworks that are used in order to secure AI systems. And there are already some very good frameworks out there. But then we'll, again, turn things around and think about things from the attacker's perspective. So when you think about AI systems as an attacker, there are all kinds of things that you can attack. Now, in the news, you probably hear a lot about training data poisoning or prompt injections. So we're actually going to do those. We're going to first think about the hierarchy and how these different AI systems are built. So there's the prompt, there's the response, there's the training data, there's the model that is being used, there's the infrastructure, there's whoever receives the information from the AI. And all of those are actually allow us to have different attack vectors. It's a huge surface, and we're going to see the different types of attacks and then actually put that into practice. So what does it mean when you do feedback poisoning? What does it mean to jailbreak a system? What does it mean to use prompt injection? Why do these things work, and why are they actually also very, very hard to patch, which is another issue with AI. So we'll take a look at multiple examples, not just in the form of, okay, maybe we'll type something into the prompt, but we'll see how graphics and visuals can be used to trick AI systems, ones that we use, but also ones that may be used in national defense systems or smart cars. We'll take a look at some capabilities around deepfakes. We'll see how to evade AI systems. Well, actually, one of the most interesting elements here is we'll see what I know is kind of a cliche by now, but I'll still say it. We'll see cyber jiu-jitsu. Okay, the attackers are saying, oh, these defenders are using AI to detect us. We're going to use the same system to trick them. So kind of like using your opponent's force against yourself. So we'll see how threat actors think about it, how they reverse engineer some of the solutions that we put into place, and how they target them. So that's going to be a deep dive into that. A lot of different examples, a lot of practical examples that also highlight one of the things that Carrie just mentioned, which is why it's super important to review all these things before being pushed by the board or by management to, hey, we have an AI system, let's put it out there. Well, wait, what are the attacks that attackers may come with? So I'm going to show you that. The second part is going to be agents and autonomous cybersecurity system. So you probably heard about agentic AI. Maybe you heard about MCP, the Model Context Protocol. So we'll dive into what that means. What is MCP? What is agentic AI? How do they, on a high level, how do they work? And what are some of the risks that are associated with AI agents? We'll also take a look into some attacks that have already started happening against MCPs and AI. And the flip side of it, what happens when you take agentic AI and put it into the SOC, to your Security Operations Center? How does it help? What can it do? What are some of the things you also might want to think of? I'll give you one quick example. What are the different areas where AI excels versus where human excel? And where is kind of like the tipping point of, here, I have a task in my Security Operations Center. Who should do it, a human or a machine? And if one of them does it, should the other have some sort of say in it? So if I give it to a machine, maybe a human should make a decision at the end, or if a human does it, maybe an AI can augment it with additional data and decision making. So we'll take a look into several scenarios though there, and there's no doubt that this is where things are going. And so we need to kind of prepare for what it means to put the AI agents in the SOC and in the hands of threat actors.
Next slide.
So first part here is, again, I'll kick off the last session, and this is going to be around shadow AI and human risk and trust. So shadow AI, for those who are unfamiliar, is the kind of ugly cousin of shadow IT. Shadow IT is when employees bring in devices, software into their organizations that are unmanaged, and the IT department may not know about it. And that happens a lot. I know I've done it a lot of times for organizations that I worked in. I brought in something that I thought would be, I didn't think it was productive, but the IT didn't know about it. So that means if they don't know about it, they can't patch it, they can't monitor it. It's a huge risk. Now think about it in terms of AI. All of a sudden, employees are bringing in AI-capable software into the organization. Not maliciously. They're doing it to become more effective. But what does that mean in terms of security? How do we look for AI-enabled software? What does it mean to secure them? How do we approach it in terms of, do we allow it or not allow it? If we allow it, to what extent? Which users? Which actions? Which type of data can we share? Because we have to remain competitive and efficient, but we also want to make sure that we monitor everything that we have in our organization. So we're going to start by taking a quick look at shadow IT, and then dive into shadow AI and how it is already affecting organizations and what you can actually do about it strategically, operationally, and tactically.
And then in this second part of module 4, we're going to look at the human risks. AI has a trust problem. There are people risks involved here. And we want to understand, how can we manage the people risk? Turns out Itai's favorite module is module 3. For me, this is my favorite module because this builds on what my research has been on for many years. How do we manage the organizational and the people issues that arise from the use of these kinds of new technologies? So as Itai was just saying, people don't maliciously use AI necessarily in their organizations, but I'm not sure they understand what the risks are that they bring in when they actually do just use, say, ChatGPT to enhance or to fix a problem or to do some of the work that they need to do. It seems like a great productivity tool, but it turns out that human risk matters, and people can be using AI without understanding things like the biases that are built in, or they overtrust. They expect the answer to be right simply because it comes out of a technology. They don't stop to think that maybe the technology is hallucinating, or maybe the technology, particularly with Gen AI, doesn't have all the answers. In fact, I've tried this myself multiple times. I've typed in a prompt and asked a question, and then I type it in again. I get a different answer, because it turns out that the AI system is a probabilistic system. It's not a deterministic system. It's not the same answer every time. It's basically a system like a person that learns. So over time, the answers might be different. But do people who use AI really understand that when they go and use the tool to change their work process? So we're going to take a look at that in this last module. We'll talk about 5 different types of human risk. We'll talk about misuse, de-skilling, manipulation, overdependence on the automation, and then the bias that's introduced. And for each one of these, we're going to look at it through a mini case study. And the case studies come from many different industries. For one of them, I'm going to look at the legal industry, legal briefs that were used that were not actually existing. We'll look at the medical community in one of them. We'll look at banks and financial services. I have a mini case study here on Amazon, and then a one on Cambridge Analytics, so an analytics company. So in each of these cases, we're going to look at how AI introduces human risks, because we don't want our people to trust a system that we don't trust. So we're going to look at why this happens. What are the issues that come up? Why do people trust the system? How do we change their values, attitudes, and beliefs so that we build a culture where they actually do the right thing at the right time and don't do the wrong things? And then I'll give you a human risk checklist of things you can do when you get back to your organization to see if you're managing human risk at the most efficient way. And then at the end of this module, we'll do a quick takeaway. So I hope you can see that in these 4 modules, there's a lot of material, a lot of examples, a lot of mini case studies. Atai brings example after example. Every time I watch Atai sessions, I learn more about things that I didn't even think were possible. And he not only lectures about them, he shows you how they happen. And in the case of my modules, we'll actually talk about all of these concepts in context, and the context being real world companies from multiple different organizations, from multiple different industries, from multiple different geographies. And all are designed so that we hope you leave with a sense of, where is AI going? What are the things that you need to be concerned about in your organization? And how can you reliably use AI and help your teams use AI so that you get the most benefit with the least vulnerabilities? So Rudy, back to you.
Wonderful stuff, Carrie and Atai. Great stuff. As you see, very exciting. And it's not only about generative AI these days, but there is so much that people can do with it, and sometimes the people that you need to protect yourself against. So this is why we're here. But before we go further, I just wanted to pause for a quick second. We had already one question from Anonymous asking if we suggest any pre-read for the program. So that also is typically related to a question, are there any prerequisites, right? So Carrie or Atai, are there any pre-reads that you would recommend, and is it optional or mandatory?
We don't expect anybody to do any pre-homework. So we don't give you any assignments ahead of time. We do have a library of some articles that you could look at, but we assume that you're coming into this without any pre-reads before the program starts. Atai, I don't remember if you actually suggested anything that somebody should read before they come in, but I know we have like a little library. Anything you want to add to that?
No, not something specific that you need to read in order to attend the course. Of course, the advancements in AI are literally every day. That's why this course is so important, I believe, and we're bringing all the latest things. But no prerequisites. We'll be doing a lot of examples in the class itself, during the classes themselves.
All right, well, great stuff. So essentially what you will need to complete the program will be all provided to you on the course website, right? So once you register, everything will be there. Everything else, in addition, is optional, and we'll talk about live sessions as well, where you can get tips on where to go deeper if you want, but you don't need to. So Jen is asking, what are your thoughts on future of AI, how it replaces human effort? I don't know if you have
Yeah,
any
so
high-level thoughts on this. Tough
oh
question.
yeah, we're both very opinionated on that one. Let me just, Rudy, take a step back. We have office hours during the program also, and I think Chelsea, who runs the office hours, is listening in here. There's lots of opportunity besides just these 4 lectures that we do to interact with the material and to interact with our team. And there's assignments and other things going on. So I don't want to leave someone with the impression that these lectures are all there is to the program. I know you're going to go over some of the other components, but there's other live sessions. There's a session with our manager, Chelsea, to talk about some of this material also. And she also has funneled to us questions, and we funnel back readings that might be relevant. So we've been adapting that as the students ask for more in the program. Now, about AI replacing humans. Atai, do you want to go first on that one? And then I'll give you my opinion.
Sure. How much time do we have? About 45 minutes for my answer? I'll try.
No.
I'll make it really quick. I'll say what I say at the course itself, so you'll hear that again. There's this kind of predictions that AI are going to replace humans. I don't think so at all. But what I have no doubt is that humans who use AI are going to replace humans who don't know how to use AI. And we're already seeing this. And by the way, this applies to you and me. This applies to businesses. Businesses who use AI are going to replace businesses who don't use AI. It applies to those other guys I was talking about, cyber criminals, right? Those who use AI are going to replace those who don't use AI. And when we use AI, we need to see how it can help us, how it actually empowers us. I look at it like an exosuit that gives you superpowers. But we also, and this is one of the main things that I'm going to highlight throughout this course, is we have to understand what are the types of risks we're bringing in when we're using AI. If we have time later, I'll give you actually an interesting example of that. But for now, Carrie, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, so this was a big topic in the conference I was in yesterday, and we spent lots of time talking about this particular question. Will AI replace humans? And I came to the same conclusion that you just articulated, Atai. I don't think it's going to replace humans. I think we need to look at AI as making us more powerful, more knowledgeable. I might even call it like a super brain, where AI and people married together create a new type of worker, perhaps a new type of organization that can achieve and do things maybe faster, more efficient, more effective than either tool alone. You know, AI is only as good as what it's been trained on, at least today. And so AI makes mistakes just like people make mistakes. So any company that really thinks that an agent is going to replace a human is setting themselves up for failure, because the agent, and Ty even brings in some examples of this, the agent can make a mistake just as easily as a person can make a mistake, and then the company's bound to it. So really, I think what we're going to be seeing is, and what we are seeing is employees or people being more responsible, more accountable for AI, for their output, especially if they use AI. We can't have AI running amok by itself because it makes mistakes, and the organization is responsible for those mistakes if AI makes a promise that the organization doesn't want to particularly live up to. And I know, Atai, you have a lot of examples in your lectures on that. But yesterday when we talked about this, somebody talked about it as if it was bionics. Remember the bionic man? The bionics, the replacement parts didn't replace the person. They just enhanced the person. And I think we'll see AI kind of in the same vein. It doesn't replace people. It enhances what people are able to do in the jobs that they're in. Rudy?
So you see, the future is bright for people who know about AI. That's why hopefully you can take this course and you can be one of them if you're not already, or you can enhance your knowledge of AI and how you can use it to be more efficient. I wanted to also show you a page on case studies. We talked about plenty of case studies in the course, but the point of all of those case studies is, first of all, this is a hands-on and practical program. So it's not about theory, it's about application. It's about application in a variety of businesses. So it's industry agnostic. It doesn't matter from which industry you come from. You can, of course, learn from another industry, but there is also a good chance that there will be examples from your industry, whether that's energy or crypto. And there will be different kind of threats and kind of countermeasures that we can talk about as well from a functional perspective, whether it's voice cloning or it's deepfake videos. All of that will be covered. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's plenty of more examples and the case studies to cover, and we can also talk about it live, right? So that's also something that Carrie mentioned. You will have a learning facilitator that will talk to you live in addition to faculty sessions. So the other thing that you will get is tools for monitoring and managing shadow AI. As Itai said, this is a new version of shadow IT that we've all known for decades, but now we need to deal with shadow AI, and also security frameworks and governance models. Carrie alluded to this. All of this developed by MIT faculty. And this is something that will help you to be a bit more structured and organized when you are trying to build resilience in your organization for cybersecurity threats, which are enabled by AI. So coming to an end of the session, here are the highlights once again of the program. So first of all, how does this actually look like around day-to-day perspective as a learner? We talked about the content. So once again, it's a mixture of live faculty sessions and pre-recorded lessons. So you don't need to get up at 4 a.m. or anything like this for a live session and that's your lecture. We understand you are a busy professional, so lectures are pre-recorded. You can watch them whenever you want. Some people do it before work or during lunch break or after work or over the weekend. And that's supplemented by live sessions with faculty and with the program leader or a facilitator that is a practitioner as well. So you will be able to tailor your experience depending on how engaged you are in those sessions, of course. All of the curriculum, as you've heard and hopefully appreciate, is real-world curriculum, right? It's also using the case studies I already mentioned and frameworks and tools to get the meaning and sense to everything that is going on in the world of AI and cybersecurity. And I already mentioned live sessions with faculty. This is what we mean by expert faculty sessions. And you also have, as I said, also a practitioner to help you with any of the questions. You will not be left alone when you are going to take this course. There's a huge army of people behind the scenes as well to help you to make this a smooth experience for you, whether from technical or admin perspective as well. So I did mention already the office hours. But also, we encourage the peer learning. So we will give you plenty of opportunities how to network with one another, because typically we have experienced professionals, right? Many of you have some great examples and experience that you can share with others, and you can learn from one another. So we will help you to facilitate that online, but through networking sessions, and also you will have discussion forums on the course website where you can bounce off ideas from one another and facilitated by your program leader as well. And intangible, but still visible and concrete output of your work will be the certificate that can look like something like this. We don't do grading. We grade all the assignments on pass or fail basis, but you need to get at least 75% to earn a certificate like this. It's going to be a virtual one, but it's not a PDF. It is designed with background checks in mind. So you can also use it when you are going to look for work, or you can share it on social media, like on LinkedIn. Many of the participants do that, or on your CV. All right. Now, so once again, recap, we already talked about the highlights. It will be hands-on, it will be practical, there will be live sessions, there will be also pre-recorded sessions, so you can manage your schedule better. You can combine both of these. All the live sessions are also recorded. Any materials used there will be shared with you in case you miss it. Otherwise, we also will talk about some of the critical topics we mentioned, whether that's shadow AI, adversarial attacks, defense, whether that's kind of reactive or offensive defense, AI governance. And of course, you will hear not only from MIT faculty, but also from industry experts, practitioners, so that we make sure that this is as hands-on, as practical, as relevant as it is possible to do these days, right? So I will come to a couple of your questions as well in a moment. But before we go there, I just wanted to mention that if this is something that you think you should do, this is something that will help you in your career, in your professional development, then you can scan the QR code on the top. So you can apply online, or my colleagues will put that in the chat. So if you are with us today live, you can just go into the chat, click on the link, and it will lead you to the brochure, which you can download and fill in, and then very simply and easily you can join the next cohort. Or if you have more questions, no problem, you can schedule a call with an advisor and you can have a one-on-one follow-up on whatever we discussed today. So if you register for this session, you will get the slides, you will get the recording, and if anything is unclear after you sleep on it or anything like that, you can just schedule a call with an advisor. So you can see the links as well in the chat. If you're watching this from the recording, you can just whip up your phone and scan the QR code. It will lead you to the same place. And so let's see what are the other questions as well. Talking about an exam towards the end, no, there is no exam, but you need to get 75% of the assignments throughout the program. So there is no exam at the end, right? You need to do just 75% of the assignments. There's also a question, when does the course material get loaded? You cannot see it on Canvas yet. Of course, Canvas is just a shell for most of our programs, not all of them. So you will see it when you join the program. When you join the program, it will be there ready to go. Then I see a QR code again, please. So I go back to this, okay? Here, so I'll stay here and we'll talk about the QR code, or you see the QR code in front of you. Or if you are joining on the PC, then you can just click on in the chat and you see the link there as well. Okay. Then there's a question about testimonials from past attendees. We don't have them ready to share with you right now, but I'm sure that given the MIT faculty, expert faculty you see here, the practitioner Etai as well, who co-designed this course, and the fact that we are not running it the first time, it should tell you that this is something that has been well received by learners worldwide. But in any case, if you have any questions and you want to figure out whether this is the right fit for you, then you should definitely schedule a call with an learning advisor and talk to them about the questions you might have regarding the curriculum or the structure of the program. And then hopefully it will be clear for you whether this works or not. Now, once again, you should think about your career goals. You should think about your capabilities and skills that you have. What will happen in the future? We did say that there is almost everyone in cybersecurity is aware and appreciates the AI being crucial in their job. So there's something to think about if that's your field or if you adjacent to it. And if you think that you have some gaps and there are things to learn, this could be one way to do this, right? So as Etai said at the beginning, there will be two kinds of people who either know how to use AI or people who don't know how to use the AI. And guess who will keep the job and who will be in trouble. So, but we don't think that humans will be replaced by AI anytime soon. On the other hand, one other logistical thing we see here on the bottom, flexible payment options for all. So there is a way to pay in installments as well if you want to. So once again, that may be something that you can either see on our website or you can talk about it in more detail with an advisor. I see. So Anonymous is saying you sign up for the program but don't see the material yet. Okay, fair enough. Depending on when the start date it is, all right? So definitely we all start on the same date, but typically the material is loaded a couple of days before. And the other thing is to note that like every other online program, I'm pretty sure that we release the content on a weekly basis. So you will only see the orientation, then you will see the week one, etc. That's because we want everybody to level set and progress at the same level. So in case you're like a gamer, like maybe Etai is, you cannot jump to level 37. You need to start with us with level 1, and you need to continue together at the same pace. Any other questions from anyone? So any other final thoughts or messages from you, Carrie and Etai? for the learners or prospective learners?
I just say that I've had, well, lots of folks from the first class have reached out to me since the class. It just sparked all sorts of thoughts and interesting ideas for them. So what I've learned from the first round when we did this, or the last round, I guess, when we did this, was that there's just a lot of interest and a lot of curiosity around what is going on with AI and what do we need to know. We all know that there's vulnerabilities. We all know that there's risks. And I hope that our program really crystallizes it, not in a scary sort of way, like don't use AI, but in a real useful managerial and supportive way, if you will. You know, these are the things that are happening. These are the things you want to make sure you know about. And so when you go use Gen AI, or if you're moving into agentic AI, or if you're in a decision-making role in your organization to think about the investment in AI, I like to look at the board's view. I'm on a couple of boards, and I talk often with board members about thinking about what questions do they need to know. This program really brings it all together in a way that you would understand where AI is today and where it's going and why it's not just the panacea that you would like to see. It's not just a bright, shiny object. It does have intended and unintended consequences. And I think our program does a nice job at sharing what those are and talking about ways to manage both the intended and the unintended impacts of using AI.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
and I'll make it quick. First of all, Rudy, I'm not sure if you chose 37 intentionally or not, because if people are not familiar, there's something called Move 37, which is a significant thing in AI. If you don't know what Move 37 is, Google it. It's really interesting. Shows you how AI can be unpredictable and creative, actually. It's a very interesting story. We'll mention it during the course as well. In terms of, I'll just make it really quick. You know, we're in a revolution. A huge one. You can think about what happened to those companies who went with revolutions in the past, industrial revolutions, and those who didn't. You can think about, you know, horses and cars. You can think about typewriters moving to computers. If you want something a lot more recent, just think of where Netflix is today and where Blockbuster is today. One decided to adapt and adopt to the internet, and one decided not to. And this is where we're standing now. And it is something, though, that is affecting individuals and organizations alike. And so, again, I know I've said it already, but we have to understand how to utilize AI to be as significant as it is, while still looking at the different risks and the opportunities that it gives the threat actors, whether those threat actors are kids, crime syndicates, or nation state actors. So this is exactly what I'm looking for in this course. It's showing both sides and the different risks that come along with AI. But having said that, I didn't mention, for example, in the Shadow AI portion, I'll also share a couple of AI tools that I use on a daily basis. So I'll show you how I use these different tools to be more productive and to be better at my job and when I do research. So it's not all just the bad guys.
Okay, great stuff. And maybe one last question before we go. Dennis wrote the question in the chat. There are many courses offered by many universities, training companies. What makes MIT stand out versus others? Why take MIT? Is it just because of the name of the university? And many students will take this course while having no AI job experience for their next job pursuit. How do you assist filling this void? Hiring managers can hire anyone with proven knowledge, but acquiring industry work experience is commendable.
So let me address the first one. Certainly, yeah. MIT has a reputation for offering high quality, very knowledgeable instructors. We spend a lot of our time all of our time, if you will, focused on leading edge questions and doing research in the area. So with Itai and me, you're getting two instructors who are 100% involved in this field, thinking about cybersecurity risk management, building cyber resilience, applying AI in organizations. Certainly there are other people in the world that have similar experiences. I don't know who's teaching what courses, but I don't compare by the school. I compare by the knowledge of the instructors and the way the instructors teach. So if you like what you heard from Itai and me, then this is your course, because we are who we are. We're authentic. We are real people. We're not we're not deep fakes here. And this is how we teach and what we cover. So hopefully what we've shared with you resonates, and that's why you'd want to take this particular course. In terms of many students will take this course while having no AI job experience. Yes, that's part of what we're hoping. We create a language for folks to understand and interpret what you're hearing in the real world. I mean, we're a course, so you're going to be spending a lot of time, if you take this course, a lot of time over a month, really diving into teaching yourself what is the language of AI and AI safety and security. What are the issues you need to know about? What are the issues you want to be aware of, so that you can take a new job or talk intelligently with a potential employer when you take a new job. I can't guarantee you're going to get a job that has an AI component in it that will be something you learned in this class. We have other classes where we've actually trained people on cybersecurity, in that case, pieces, components and skills. That's not this course. We're not teaching you the skills of AI. We're alerting you to all of the different risks, vulnerabilities, opportunities, applications, case studies, governance, all the things we talked about, so that you have the knowledge. I mean, in 4 weeks, we're not going to make you an AI specialist, but in 4 weeks, what we're going to make you is an AI knowledgeable participant in discussions. And that should be enough for you to launch your career, if you choose, with more AI knowledge. And if you're a curious learner, you're going to want to go explore every one of these topics in more detail. And we're going to give you lots of foundation to understand what it is that you're going to see and learn, and to how to interpret the headlines when you see the next headline about an AI impact. So that's how I view our course. And that's hopefully something that's of interest to you, and why you're here.
Wonderful. I would just add also, in terms of structure, it's a mixture of asynchronous and live sessions. So you don't have it in all the courses. Here you will have touch points, you will have interactive sessions with faculty and with the program leader that is a practitioner. So you will also have opportunities to network with one another. So that's in addition to the content that Kerry was talking about, but also the structure of the course makes it a bit more high touch, kind of the more touch points that you will have some in maybe some other places. But in general, once again, if we go back to the QR codes that we all learned to love in the last 5 years, if you are clear on that you would like to take this course, you can just scan the QR code on the top. Otherwise, you can schedule a call with an advisor, and then they will go through any of the questions you might still have. So thank you so much for your time. Great questions as always. Thank you, Kerry and Itai and Indy from MIT xPRO. And we hope to see you at the course. So thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.